Have you ever had a day when the weather was just perfect, and though it was a rush hour, the road was clear enough for you to make it safely to your workstation, only to be ruined by a letter that says you are targeted for software audit review? Hello everyone, this is Monty from GYTNI. In this video, we're going to talk about what software audit is and its process. So, what is an audit? In terms of dictionary, audit is an official examination and verification of accounts and records, especially of financial accounts. Software audit, or software review if you want to sound more friendly, is one of those audits which are mainly conducted by big software supplying companies such as Microsoft, Adobe, Autodesk, and more, to make most certain that their customers are using their software product and its process in compliance to their licensing agreement. Though the premise of conducting software audit is to help your business take better control of your software assets. But the first impression when anyone hears the word audit should be overwhelming sense of panic. You have no idea when one of those software suppliers will demand your organization for conducting audit. But that does not mean we can't prepare for those pop audit before they start knocking on our doors. The very first step to preparing oneself for a software audit is to know what to expect when an audit is being conducted. And the first question one might have about software audit would be just exactly how does one get targeted for software audit? It's not like they're spinning a roulette to decide who to audit, right? Well, the reasons could vary depending on who the auditing entity is. But here are some cases in which audit could be initiated. First, you could have been reported by a current or former employee, and this really shouldn't be a problem for anybody. Second, suddenly declining to purchase could raise suspicion that your business might be using alternative, which could very well be a pirated version. Third, unbalanced database of license. Major software suppliers such as Autodesk will have database of serial numbers which their client owns and can trace unlicensed software if there are any signs of illegal or cracked numbers are entered. Lastly, if there are any big changes within the organization that requires full attention, such as mergers and acquisition or relocating server, software suppliers will not miss this chance to pick through that moment of weakness. In one way or the other, if your organization is being audited, it means that software supplier has caught wind of something of your organization. So now we have looked through some of the examples of how a target is selected. We can move on to the first step of software audit process. Audit notices will come in a form of letter and will be conducted either by the publisher themselves or by the third-party auditors such as Business Software Alliance and Software and Information Industry Association. The letter sent through email may seem like a spam at first, but if you decide to ignore and refuse to respond to those letters, the auditor of following software supplier will assume that you are a target of copyright infringement, and it could result in federal lawsuit against your business, which could cost ranging from tens and thousands depending on the circumstances of how much the software is worth and how many illegal copies the business owns. So what should you do when receiving a letter? Before you jump to conclusion, always make a habit of confirming whether the letter is actually a spam or a legitimate notice. Once you have confirmed the legitimacy of the letter, review the license agreement and make sure to confirm the scope of the audit aligns with the license agreement. Having a better understanding of the scope of an audit will allow you to avoid revealing any unnecessary information to auditors. On the side note, most software supplying companies will include the right to audit no more than twice a year in their license agreement, meaning receiving an audit letter doesn't always mean that you are caught using unauthorized copies of software. Once the client and the auditor has agreed upon audit and meet up with the representative who will be conducting the audit, you'll be requested to provide these following information about your business. Overview of software installed and its deployment, proof of licensing which can be received, a form of document or full packaged product, number of all personnel and PCs including laptops, location of your server, and lastly, overview of your network license. On the side note, the auditor will state a date in which these following information should be submitted. But know that if your business is currently faced with a big project, you can always negotiate the date to more in favor to you. Once the auditors begin to conduct audit, they will use Audit Tool to search up all unauthorized products located within the scope. And you may be surprised just how many of those unauthorized software they can find. The common types of unlicensed software would be the pirated copies with illegal keys, and software products that might appear to be free only to find out that it is supposed to be for educational and individual use. This mix-up of edition can also apply to trial and test versions, which cannot be used for commercial purposes. Lastly, outdated software that you never removed and just been neglecting it can be included as well. Speaking of outdated software such as OpenCapture and Zook, which were once a freeware, could be converted to commercialware. All of these are fairly obvious, but did you also know that in some regions, even though you haven't actually installed the illegal software, just by having an installer or the file located somewhere within the PC can also be seen as software license infringement, which proves to show that one should always be mindful of these common but easily overlooked mistakes. After the necessary data has been gathered through the audit, auditor will analyze them and provide the final report of the gap of shortages. The audit process will end after the customer has confirmed to purchase any illegal license they own and removing all unauthorized copies of software from their PCs. So now that the audit is over, we don't have to worry about it anymore, right? After purchasing the shortages, you might assume that the worst has gone by, but if you have ever failed an audit, it raises the chances of being put on the target once again. To prevent any more damages, it is crucial to implement Software Asset Management tool to better track your software deployment data. But that is no simple task for a small-sized organization, leaving many holes with poor management. To best handle such stress, in my personal opinion, is to seek help by receiving a consulting service from experts who deals with these types of situations. They will provide you with the detailed reports of the current overview of your software assets and the outcome of audit, as well as to show you how to minimize that risk. We here at GYTNI offers a variety of consulting service and software asset management tools for those of you who seek to make zero of illegal software use. Our consulting service goes as following. First, we distribute the specifically designed search tool that is used for consulting service, customized to run self-audit process in accordance to match the audit process of each software supplier. We then gather the list of all existing software, installer, and files located throughout the organization, and proceed to analyze them to sort and create an overview of the numbers of licenses owned and are illegal. Once the analysis has been completed, we inform our client and provide with the estimated risk of damages these illegally owned copies can create. With confirmation, we provide the risk removing tool, which will remove all traces of illegal copies of installed software, installer, and files located within the targeted PCs. After that, we provide a report comparing the risk of damages from then and now. From this process alone, our client can expect up to at least 50% reduction of damages from an unexpected audit. Company A, which was found to have owned over 172 copies of illegal product from Microsoft, Adobe, and Autodesk, was able to reduce that number down to 21 copies, saving over 330 million Korean won, which is equivalent to about 280,000 US dollars. As mentioned before, to best handle software audit is to be well prepared. Let us help you through those relentless and complicated audit issues. Thank you. Before you leave, are you perhaps interested in a service that could scan for virus, all without downloading or paying for it? Oh, and also show you licensing information of a variety of software products? Well, click the video link here to check them out right now. And don't forget to help us by clicking on that like button and subscribe to GYTNI to get notified of our updates.